प्रभु आज्ञाए भाई मांगे भिक्षा। बोलो कृष्णा भजो कृष्णा करो एक शिक्षा। बोलो कृष्णा भजो कृष्णा करो कृष्णा शिक्षा। अपराध शून्य होय लो कृष्ण नाम। अपराध शून्य होय लो कृष्ण नाम। कृष्ण माता कृष्ण पिता कृष्ण धन प्राण। कृष्ण माता कृष्ण पिता कृष्ण धन प्राण। कृष्णेरा संसार करो चाड़िया नयचार। कृष्णेरा संसार करो चाड़िया नचार। जीवे दोया कृष्ण नाम सर्वधर्म सार। जीवे दोया कृष्ण नाम सर्वधर्म सार। नदिया गोद्रु में नित्यानंद महाजान। नदिया गोद्रु में नित्यानंद महाजान। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम राम राम। हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Jaya Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Radhe. Jaya Jagannatha Jagannatha Baladeva Jaya Subhadra Mai. Jaya Gauranita 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 Jaya Gauranita Gauranita Jaya Gauranita Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. श्रील हरिनाम संकीर्तन की, श्री नित्यानंद प्रभु की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की, सामवेद गौर भक्तवृंद की। जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद, जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद, जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंदा, जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंदा, जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद, जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंदा। So we are reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela, chapter 5, the glories of Lord Nityananda Balram, text 7. Sankarshana Karanatoya Shai Garbhoda Shai Cha Payobdishai Sheshascha Yashamsha Kalacha Nitya Nandhakya Rama Sharanam Mamatsu. Sankarshana Karanatoya Shai Garbhodashai cha payobdishai Sheshascha yashamsha kalasha nitya Nandakya Rama Sharanam Mamatsu. Nandakya Rama Sharanam Mamatsu. Karanatorashai Garbhodashai cha payobdashai Shastayasham Shakalashanitya Nandakya Rama Sharanam. Bodhashai cha vayodashai Shashasham sakala shakita Nandakya Rama Sharanam. Any Matajis? Sankarshana, Ma Sankarshana in the spiritual sky. Karanatoya Shai, Karanodakshai Vishnu, who lies in the causal ocean. Garbha Uda Shai, Garbhodakshai Vishnu, who lies in the Garbhodaka, ocean of the universe. Cha and Paya Abdishai, Kshirodakshai Vishnu, who lies in the ocean of milk. Shesha, Sheshanaga, the couch of Vishnu. Cha and Yasya, whose Amsha, plenary portions. Kalaha, the parts of the plenary portions. Sa, he, Nityananda Akya, known as Lord Nityananda. Ramaha, Lord Balaram. Sharanam, shelter. Mama, my. Astu, let there be. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. May Sri Nityananda Ram be the object of my constant remembrance. Sankarshan, Sheshnag and the Vishnus who lie on the Karna ocean, Garbha ocean and ocean of milk are his plenary portions and the portions of his plenary portions. Purport. Sri Swarup Damodar Goswami has recorded this verse in his diary to offer his respectful obeisances to Lord Nityananda Prabhu. This verse also appears as the 7th of the first 14 verses of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurun Militam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Mena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrachatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parichana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamsha Namaom Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatadesha Tarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratsve Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhano Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vacha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyeva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pangullangayate girim Yat kripaha tamham vande Shri Gurun Dinatarinam. Hare Krishna. So, before I start, I seek the blessings of His Grace Anandmay Prabhu. Actually, Prabhuji was supposed to speak, but Prabhuji is not feeling well. So, I'll try to serve all the devotees to glorify Lord Nityananda Prabhu on this most auspicious day. I seek the blessings of all the devotees so that I can glorify the Lord for my own purification. So, Lord Krishna, He is the source of all the incarnations. So He is Atmaram, He is self-satisfied, but at the same time, He also wants to have loving relationships. So He expands into various incarnations. So the first expansion of Lord is Balramji. And then from Balramji comes Vasudeva, Sankarshan, all those further things. So Balramji, actually, although he is the immediate expansion of Lord, but still he always holds the mood of servant. So he himself expands into all the paraphernalia, and also it is said that he expands in all the 5 rasas to serve Lord Krishna. So in this way, Lord Balramji, although he has, it is said that he has the same powers or the potencies as Lord Krishna, only the color is different. But still, he is always in the mood of servant to Lord Krishna. So even when he appears as Lakshman, we see that he is always with Lord Ram. Even in the exile, he is always serving with Lord Ram. So we know that when Lord Balramji he appeared in this world, so he especially appeared along with Krishna to destroy all the demons. So we see in various pastimes, like once when Lord Balramji saw on his travels this Romaharsha Sutta, so he was the disciple of Vyasdev, but he did not offer any respects to Lord Balramji. So Lord Balramji, he became angry, and also he wanted to teach the future generations. So he said, in spite of you being a direct disciple of Vyasadev and studying all the Vedas under him, still you have not developed any good qualities, right? So, and your education is like a diamond on a snake, very dangerous. So, seeing that false pride of this Romaharsha, Lord Balramji, he took a blade of grass and he just touched his neck and he died, Romaharsha. So the same Lord Balramji, in this age of Kali Yuga, everybody is like Romaharsha, very proud. So then if he wants to kill, then everybody has to be killed. So the same Lord Balramji, in this age of Kali Yuga, he takes the same blade of grass, not to kill, but he keeps the same blade of grass in his mouth, and he falls at the feet of all the conditioned souls who are very proud and who are not willing to serve him, take to the chanting of the holy names. He falls at their feet and he requests them to please take to the chanting of the holy names. The same Lord, right? So as a service to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he goes to each and everyone and requests them that Krishna Mata, Krishna Pita, Krishna Dhanapran. Krishna is your mother, father, your very life and soul, your wealth. So the conditioned souls have forgotten this. So on behalf of Lord Chaitanya, so he would do this. Taking a blade of grass in the mouth means representing humility. Just like a grass is considered means people trample on grass. The grass doesn't say anything. And also even animals also eat grass. So it's basically representing humility. So the same Lord who is a source of all right expansions, he is taking such a humble position, especially in this age of Kali Yuga, so that people who are very degraded get help. So Lord Nityananda Prabhu, he appeared in Ekachakra Dham in Bengal. So he appeared on this day. to Hadai Pandit and Padmavati. So they were very devoted. So when he appeared in this world, they were all auspicious signs. His body was very, very effulgent. He was in golden effulgence and he had lotus-like eyes. So everybody in the Eka Chakradam was attracted by him. So right from the childhood, from the age of like 5 or 6 years onwards, this little Nitai, Nityananda Prabhu, he would enact the childhood pastimes of Krishna. All the pastimes, but especially the childhood pastimes. So he would gather all the children of Eka Chakradam and he would give them various roles and enact the pastimes. Like sometimes he would tell someone to become Brahmaji and somebody cow and go and plead. Somebody becomes Vishnu and they would go and plead Lord Vishnu to appear in this world to destroy all the demons. And then they would go into a dark room and where Vasudeva and Devaki were there, somebody would enact that role and he would tell somebody to appear there as Krishna with the four-handed form, and like that they would enact all the wonderful pastimes, all the demons getting killed, like that. So sometimes the elders would see those pastimes and they would ask that Nitai, how come that you know all these pastimes? Because they were very small, they never, nobody told them. But then he said, no, I know all these pastimes because these are my pastimes. So he would tell like that. So they were surprised that how this small boy, he was knowing all these pastimes. So one particular day, what had happened, that they were enacting the pastimes of Ramayana. So Nitai told that I will be becoming Lakshman and one person should be become Indrajit. And they would throw an arrow, astra, at Lakshman. So that arrow was a lotus flower. So he told, you should throw on my heart. And when that Indrajit threw that arrow, we know that Lakshman becomes unconscious. And then he says, Hanuman, he told one boy to become Hanuman, you should go and get some herbs, and then in between some crocodiles and all will attack some, and he should defeat them, and then come back and give that herbs to me, means keep that herbs at my nose, and once I smell it, I'll come back to consciousness. So he told the children to actually enact this pastime, means he gave different roles. So then they started the drama. So then Nityananda Prabhu, in the mood of Lakshman, he started chastising Indrajit that you rascal, why you have done like this, you are supporting Ravan. So then Ravan, this Indrajit in anger at Lakshman, he throws the arrow, means that lotus flower. So when it hits Nitai, immediately Nitai becomes unconscious. So then when Nitai becomes unconscious, all the associates of Lord Ram, monkeys, they all start lamenting, crying. So they send Hanumanji to get the herbs. So meanwhile, seeing the children crying and Nitai unconscious, the news goes to Hadai Pandit at Padmavati. So they all come running, thinking that something happened to my child. Then all the residents of Eka Chakradam also come. They find that the child is unconscious, not moving also, completely unconscious. So they think that something had happened and they all also start crying. Then somebody asks that what happened, how he became unconscious. So they tell that this pastime we are enacting. So, and then they say that somebody was supposed to bring the herbs, Hanuman. So they say, where is Hanuman? She said, I am fighting with the crocodile and other people. Come fast. So then finally that Hanumanji comes with the herbs and then they keep it at the nose. So that time Nitai comes out from his absorption of trance and he comes back. So like this, Nitai was completely absorbed in the pastimes of Krishna, Lord Ram, enacting these pastimes with the Lord. Actually, children should do all such kind of dramas or play those kind of things. Nowadays they are playing with guns and Superman, He-Man, all these kinds of things, useless things. But if they at least enact these pastimes, even think of all those characters, they will gradually become spiritualized. So eventually, when Nitai became 12 years old, one day one sannyasi comes to Ekachakradam. So the Sadai Pandit very nicely serves that sannyasi, and he says that everything is in your service, whatever you want I am ready to serve you. So that sannyasi eventually says that, see, I am traveling alone all over to the holy places, I need somebody to assist me. So I am thinking that if your child Nitai, if he is there with me, he will be a good support for me. So when this Hadai Pandit heard this, it was like a thunder on his heart. Actually, Hadai Pandit was so much attached to Nitai that whenever he was even working in the fields and all, he would always make sure that Nityananda Prabhu is just nearby around. He would always see where is he, right? So he could not even think that Nitai will leave him. So it was very, very painful for him. But then he has given a word to that sannyasi. He was requesting him, but then he said, no, I want him. So just like Dashrath Maharaj, when Vishwamitra Muni had come, so he was also asking for Lord Ram. So that time for Dashrath Maharaj also it was very, very painful. In fact, Dashrath Maharaj says that I am ready to come myself and all the army. Why you are taking this Lord Ram? But he says, no, I want him only. So finally he says, okay. He goes to Padmavati and tells. Then she says, ultimately she also feels very painful. So with tears in her eyes, she says that whatever you decide, no, I am okay with it. So finally they decide that this Nitai should go with that sannyasi. So then that sannyasi was taking Nityananda Prabhu. So when all the residents of that Ekachakra Dham, they came to know that Nityananda Prabhu is leaving Ekachakra Dham, it was very, very painful for them to see, because they loved Nitai more than their own children. And in fact they were saying that we are ready to give our own children to that sannyasi. And we are ready to send our children instead of Nitai, because we cannot tolerate living our lives without Nitai. So, but they were searching for that sannyasi, but they were somehow not able to find. Meanwhile, they left. So it is said eventually in the great separation of Nitai, Lord Nityananda Prabhu, Hadai Pandit, Padmavati, all the residents of the Ekachakradam, they all went back home, back to Godhead in separation. They all left this world. So when Nityananda Prabhu left that place, eventually everyone went back home, back to Godhead, and it was as if like a ghost haunted place, in the sense nobody was there. Everybody left, died in separation of Nityananda Prabhu. So Nityananda Prabhu, with that sannyasi, eventually he started traveling to all the holy places in India. Jagannath Puri, South India, all the holy places, everywhere. So at Udupi, he comes, there he meets Madhavendra Puri for the first time. And he says, I have been traveling to all the holy places, but I have never met any person who has such love for Godhead. So there they meet, and there they have Krishna Katha for a long time, and eventually Nityananda Prabhu takes initiation from him. And also when he goes to Pandharpur, it is said that there is one person called Lakshmipati Tirtha. So before Nityananda Prabhu appeared there, he came in the dream of this person, Lakshmipati Tirtha, and requested him, he told him that tomorrow one Brahmana is going to come and you have to give him this particular mantra initiation. So next day when he wakes up, he sees that Nityananda Prabhu comes to Pandharpur, and there he initiates him, Lakshmipati Tirtha. So eventually Lord Nityananda Prabhu goes to Vrindavan. He goes to all the 12 forests, and there he remembers all the pastimes, which he and Krishna have enacted as Krishna and Balram. So he keeps waiting for Lord Chaitanya eventually. So when Lord Chaitanya appeared, eventually, that time it is said Nityananda Prabhu rode in ecstasy. So first time Nityananda Prabhu waits like 12 years, like he left the home, and eventually Nityananda Prabhu waits for 20 years. So total 32 years Nityananda Prabhu waited. So after that time, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu takes holy name initiation from Ishwarapuri. He gets initiation from Ishwarapuri, and he starts the Harinam Sankirtan. So although Lord Nityananda Prabhu is the immediate expansion of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or Krishna, he still was waiting for 32 years for the Sankirtan movement to start. So just imagine, he is having all the potencies of Krishna, and he himself can give love of Godhead to everyone, right? By his glance, by his embrace, by his, chanting the holy names. But for 32 years, Nityananda Prabhu was patiently waiting. And until Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not order him, he did not start the Harinam Sankirtan, the preaching Krishna consciousness. So we can learn from Lord Nityananda Prabhu how one should be very obedient towards one's superiors. And Lord Nityananda Prabhu wanted to give all credit to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu only for starting the Sankirtan movement. If Nityananda Prabhu would have started, it means if he wants, he can start also, right? But then the whole credit would go to Nityananda Prabhu, right? But Nityananda Prabhu wanted that all credit should actually go to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that's why he did not start the Sankirtan movement. So Srila Prabhupada also has the same mood. Although he has spread the Krishna consciousness the whole world, but still he always gives credit to his spiritual master Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He never takes credit for himself. So eventually Lord Nityananda Prabhu, he meets Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at the house of Nandanacharya, and then eventually Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives orders to Nityananda Prabhu and also Haridas Thakur that they should both go and give this holy name to all the conditioned souls. So upon receiving this order of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, both Haridas Thakur and Nityananda Prabhu, they every day start going. And they would chant the holy names. So sometimes pious people, upon hearing the request of Nityananda Prabhu and Chaitanya this Haridas Thakur, they would start taking to the holy names, chanting of the holy names. But then there were some people who were very impious, sinful, so they were not willing to take the holy name. In fact, they were criticizing the followers of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that time Nityananda Prabhu would, as we discussed, he would fall at their feet with a blade of grass in his mouth, and he would request them that please take to this chanting. Krishna is your father, Krishna is your mother, Krishna is your whole life and soul. So please take to this chanting. So upon such humble request of Nityananda Prabhu, so some of those impious people also would start the chanting process. So one day, while both Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur were going, so they see two very strong personalities, and they were fighting with each other very vigorously, hitting each other. They were completely drunken, and in the drunken state, they were actually beating each other. So Lord Nityananda Prabhu asks, who are they? So then he comes to know from people that these people are Jagadananda and Madhavananda. Actually they were Brahmanas, but then after their birth they got into some bad association, So they were considered the most sinful of that time. So they would destroy the houses of people, loot everything. They would rape women. They would kill cows, eat the flesh of cows, do all kinds of sinful activities. So they were so sinful that people, Nadia, everybody were afraid of them. No one used to come nearby them. Everybody was very, very afraid. So when Nityananda Prabhu saw this Jagai and Madai, he was very blissful. He thought that if I deliver this Jagai and Madai, then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will be glorified as the most munificent. This is what I am looking for. He said that these are the most sinful people, and this should be, they should really get the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So with that determination, they wanted to give mercy to this Jagai and Madai. So when Nityananda Prabhu decided like that, they started going near to that Jagai and Madai. So then people started telling, don't go. They are so sinful, they will attack you, they will kill you. Unnecessarily don't approach them. But then Nityananda Prabhu was very determined to give mercy. So when Nityananda Prabhu goes, he tells them, please take to this chanting. Krishna is your father, Krishna is your mother. Please take to this chanting. You will be freed from all the sinful reactions, and you will get love of God, like that. So then Jagai and Madai, they were completely in drunken state. They could not understand, and they were very angry. Who is this people coming and instructing me? So they started, actually they wanted to attack this Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur. They said, we'll kill you. So they started chasing Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur. So then Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur, they both start running from that place. So Nityananda Prabhu says, see Haridas Thakur, you were beaten in 22 marketplaces, but you delivered all those executioners by your prayers. Now you please pray for this Jagai and Madai. No, he said, they are ready to kill us. No, first you run. So they started running very quickly, and then finally Jagai and Madai, because they were drunken and they ate meat and all, they were already quite tired. So eventually, because of tiredness, they did not run. They became little tired and they stopped. So eventually Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur, they go back to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and they start telling that today we met this Jagai and Madai. We thought that if these people get delivered, you will be glorified the most. And they started telling that how they are so sinful and everything. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, upon hearing this, that how they are so sinful, he said, so better I take my Sudarshan Chakra and kill them. But Nityananda Prabhu says, oh Lord, in this Kali Yuga, if you want to kill, then everybody is like this Jagai and Madai. So you are supposed to be most munificent. So please give your mercy to them. So eventually, Nityananda Prabhu, again, in order to deliver Jagai and Madai, one day again he goes to them. So this time they become very angry. So Madai, he takes a pot and he hits Nityananda Prabhu on his head. So immediately blood starts oozing from his head. So even in that situation, Nityananda Prabhu requests Madai that although you hit me, this is not paining me. But actually you are not taking to Krishna consciousness, to this holy name, is more painful than this hitting me on the head. So Madai, upon hearing it, he actually takes another pot to again hit Nityananda Prabhu. So when Jagai, he sees that this Nityananda Prabhu is so merciful and is still forgiving this Madai, he stops that Madai from hitting further. So that time, people who saw that, they actually go and tell Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that this is what Madai did. So immediately Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes running and he calls for his chakra, Sudarshan chakra, and he was in so much anger with red eyes. So he wanted to kill that Madai because he has hurt Nityananda Prabhu. But then Nityananda Prabhu first says, see, you are supposed to give your mercy. You are Namo Mahavadanyaya. You are most merciful. If you kill, then everybody is like Jagai and Madai in this material world. So everybody has to be killed. So he says, see this Jagai, his heart got transformed. Because when this Madai is hitting me, he is the one who told him to stop. So that means he got transformed. So you are supposed to give mercy to this Jagai. See how Nityananda Prabhu, although there is hardly any good quality in Jagai and Madai, the moment Jagai showed little transformation, he wanted to glorify him. That is his causeless mercy. So he glorified this Jagai. And then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because Nityananda Prabhu requested him, he said, okay, because you are telling good about this Jagai, today I will deliver him. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu kept his lotus feet on his head and he embraced Jagai. So immediately Jagai, who was black in complexion, all that sinful reactions went away. And also then Nityananda Prabhu said, so this Madai who saw this Jagai got delivered, he also started requesting Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that please also deliver me. So that time Lord said, no, because you have offended my devotee Nityananda Prabhu, I will never deliver you. So then he went and fell at the feet of Nityananda Prabhu and requested him that please forgive me. So then Nityananda Prabhu forgave him. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also forgave eventually. So Jagai and Madai, they were considered most sinful. Chitragupta would be tired writing so many books about their sinful records, about their sinful activities. So when the news reached to Chitragupta, he became unconscious that how this Jagai Madai got delivered. And all the demigods, they were surprised. Everybody was shocked to see that how this Jagai and Madai got delivered. So they understood that because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the most munificent, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, they are Parama Karuna, Bahudvijana, most merciful. So because of these incarnations in this Kali Yuga, so many Jagai and Madais would get delivered. So same way in the mood of Nityananda Prabhu we see Srila Prabhupada also. Prabhupada says in many purports, actually in Kali Yuga everybody is like Jagai and Madai. They are addicted to all sinful activities. But then because of the causeless mercy of Jagai and this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, so Prabhupada in many places, in many temples, he has installed the deities of Gaur and Nitai. He said, for Kali Yuga, we need Gaur Nitai's mercy. Previously, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he would install the deities of Gaur Gadadhar. But Srila Prabhupada, he installed the deities of